I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to welcome Carrie Ann back. It was a short recess for her, but you'll be right off the bat. And I'd also like to welcome Jack back as well. We're lucky to be able to get him in a sort of a crisis situation, so I appreciate that. And you being so willing to come back from Puerto Rico and jump on board.
What did I tell you? I can't do it without Carrie Ann.
You said that after I said that. Yeah, I don't think we can all do that. So we've got a couple of select board meeting minutes, public meeting from Tuesday, March 3rd. Josh, did you get a pitch review? I know Sadie just did.
Yes,
Nature for that one.
I didn't see any move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The non-public from the night before, March 2nd, at the town hall. I had one correction, on number, when we came out and we voted on, or we talked about Chet's resignation. His pay was continued through March 13th, not through the end of March. So that was discussed at that meeting. Other than that, I didn't see any errors.
Move to accept as corrected.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I thought I signed all these today, but I guess not. Do we know when this one for John Coffey for jet and vacuum drain lines, if the correct amount is actually there, or it's somebody who knows?
I haven't seen that yet.
Put that aside.
Is that, can we look at that, Joe? I think I have a question on this. Well, yeah, the amount is, says 3250 here and then 32,500. But I'm pretty sure that we said on 3.3, that don't just do 200 feet. Why are you going to do that? We want you to do the 800.
Right, 'cause you have to find something that, a company that can come up with 800.
Yeah, so
On
we
that,
just-
I checked with Dylan McDermott,
Yeah,
because he's handled the water. And he said 800 would be a stretch, but if you went to Granite State Rural Water Association Board,
yeah,
you thought you might be able to get up to 500 feet. That may get you past that bend that they were talking about in the pipe.
I think John is actually
And John knows about that.
well, I think he's the chair of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's present.
Oh, is this the camera to look down the water pipe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is for the garage though, not the, all right, because I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
that's
we didn't, all right, so
So is this the dollar differences?
this is for 3281, the purchase order is for 3250, but then it says 32,500. So,
I'm just not sure of those details. I'll take a look at that.
That's good. That's good.
We just.
MS 232 form, this is just validating the town meeting, is that correct?
That's what was voted. It was suggesting for the warrant article that failed.
Right. So I'll make a motion to approve.
a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I just want to bring up something that I had already forwarded to Jack. But I had a nonprofit agency reach out. They did deliver a petition warrant article with all appropriate signatures. Somehow it didn't get on. It didn't come to the budget committee, for us.
Okay.
But
Um,
Jack did seek the opinion of our legal counsel and can probably fill you in better than I can.
Well, I think the short answer is there's not an easy remedy, I suppose. He suggested legally it could be problematic if you've always done this by warrant article and this time by error or omission. I do believe that they turned in the warrant article petition timely. It looks like it was in at least a month before the deadline. I still haven't gotten a response from the town clerk, what happened to it and where it is. But it obviously is too late for warrant articles, it's too late for the way that they've typically done it. Now, I think that there's a way, it's about $2,900.
Yeah, it was not a,
I think we can find a way. I need to explore it a little bit more, but I think there's a way that we should be able to find a way to give them the money. It obviously won't be a warrant article. You all would have to approve it, and we may have to perhaps have a separate public hearing just to cover ourselves. But
what was the organization?
the Public Health Council of the Upper Valley.
Formerly Mascoma Valley Health Initiative.
So is that one that's petitioned us before?
Yeah,
Yeah,
every year
okay.
for years.
Yeah.
So those normally come to the town clerk and she stamps them with the date she gets them, correct? And it is stamped by the town clerk?
What I have is a copy and a date written by the person that submitted it. So again, I don't know what happened to it once it apparently made it into town hall. So I've got to see why this fell off the rails, and I don't know the answer to that.
So is there any liability on us though, if everything was done properly and we failed to include it in the warrant? I mean, there's a process with organization.
Not according to the attorney,
Okay,
because, you know, the warrant article is published to the public, the town gets it, they vote on it. If it's not there, there's that whole procedure that simply wasn't complied with, regardless of how correctly they attempted to get it into that system.
okay.
Whether or not we can use existing budget funds in some other department for a purpose related, I need to do a little more research on that. Not to be,
Yeah.
not to be underhand or sleight of hand, we're gonna do it in public, but.
Yeah.
But I feel ethically, we ought to try to fix it if we can.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And I know that about 15 years ago, we used to just have it in the budget and then that maybe even longer.
A lot of communities, once it goes through the initial warrant article for a public hearing, if it's recurring, you just put it into the budget. And only when you add a new nonprofit outside agency would you kind of test the waters on the public. But again, it's a board decision. I mean, you don't have to do the warrant article for any of these outside agencies. You've chosen to do that as a community political measuring point to see whether the public is okay with that, and not just the three of you. But again, there's nothing that requires that. But
Well, this may be the first year, or certainly the second year that we've all voted unanimously, the board's voted unanimously on them all, so. And previous to this board, it was very much split. So,
It
right.
was very much no.
right. So,
Yeah, and maybe that is a good reason to keep it as a warrant article, but at least as to this one, if there's, let me find a palatable, transparent way that we can try to meet the intent that we otherwise likely would have given.
It would save a lot of paper on voting. I think, too.
Wait.
I mean, it's a whole sheet. I mean,
Yeah.
so-
So Jack, would you be able to respond to Alice Ely then and just let
Yeah.
her know all of that? Thank you.
Bob, you had something?
You guys have a contingency budget?
We do.
So rather than, if you decide you want to follow this, I would think it would be more appropriate to take out something like that than I know you're kind of joking about Monica's budget, but when you get grants that offset it, that actually would be a legitimate thing, but I think the contingency budget would be better than something that people voted to approve.
Well, they voted on approving the contingency. Well, so-
Yeah, well, but the contingency isn't latched to anything, so you can probably use that where you feel you need to.
I think, what the attorney said was that because we don't have a line item open in the budget for this, we can't expend it, but if we received any unanticipated revenue that wasn't for something specific, then that could be dedicated to it.
The idea being, the budget goes before the public, and it's problematic when you decide on your own to spend money differently than the manner in which it was presented to the public. And contingency can be a great slush fund, but it's not intended to fund things that you forgot about.
Unanticipated on a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll work out the legal, structure for this and come up with that.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that they knew, because I sent only obviously email with you.
Thank you. COLA adjustment, goes into effect when, April 1st?
April 1st.
And what was its final percentage?
It was 2.8, that was budgeted.
Okay. That was sent out, Monica sent that out to the three of us to review. Motion.
Motion to accept the COLA as approved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Who's gonna talk about uniform service?
That was
Okay,
back during budget season, Bob Henry had talked to the people that get the employees that do the uniforms. And it was discussed about giving the employees a yearly uniform stipend rather than going through the uniform service. Sounds like people would rather buy their own preferred brand than do we use Cintas. And also our contract was up in February and we got a 10% increase. So we had budgeted $31,900 for everybody that gets uniformed. If we gross up everybody's uniforms, so they get $15,000 in a check, it would come out to be about $1,900 per employee, because we would pay the taxes on their behalf because it's a fringe benefit. So if you take $1,900 times the 12 employees that use uniforms, it would be $22,800. So we would save about $9,000. And then the employees would be responsible for coming to work and maintaining a certain level of appearance. And the employees seem to be really in favor of it.
okay. So what's our ability to maintain a consistent look?
Bob said he wasn't worried about it. And they already bought all of their winter gear last year in 2025. And the winter gear is good for like 3 years. So they would just,
Can we determine the vendor that they buy from, so we have some control of what they're wearing? I mean, they're driving around our vehicles, it's all just Bob's group, correct?
water, sewer, and Barry. And the mechanic, everybody that reports to Bob.
I'm inclined to think you need to shape it a little bit, in terms of perhaps,
I mean, I don't mind giving it a little bit of variety, so they're not, but I think that there should be we should determine what the uniform is, not them. Because, I mean, they can look like me, so, I mean.
in which case, what?
I don't want to be mistaken for driving a black truck.
Does it seem like a lot per person, to buy
What's the per, what do you think it from?
We wanted the employees to get net $1,500, and that would be boots, jeans, t-shirts, sweatshirts.
And are these articles of clothing that we want them to wear, or we require them to wear? In other words, are we requiring that they wear like steel-toe shoes or that sort of thing, or?
Your insurance requires you to have safety shoes, safety toed. And we did, because that's what we did, just clothing allowance because of the cost of uniforms. and it had to be, jeans or something like these, work pants. And, it couldn't be anything colorful, or it had to be, I forget, I'd have to look up what we had on it, but it had to be a work grade clothes, t-shirts. We would get sizes a couple times a year. We'd have t-shirts and it would have the town logo printed on them. And we would get t-shirts would generally be purchased in a safety color so that during summer work, when it's hot out, and you just want your t-shirt on, you meet the insurance codes for safety.
So then if the clothing has logo on it, then that limits your vendors to those people that have the graphics to do that, right?
Yes,
Yeah, well, most companies that are doing commercial work, you can, we can send them the file, so.
we were using Tommy Keene. And he would give a bulk discount because usually most of the employees would get, around 8 t-shirts at an order. And, there at Public Works, you were talking around 20 employees, so it made it, a bulk.
I imagine the boots could be fairly expensive.
Yes, you're figuring, roughly you're looking at $200 a pair of a quality pair of boots.
Do you know about this itemized, the sort of clothing that he wants people to?
I would like to itemize it a little bit, so.
Yeah.
And boots,
So that,
Yeah, they had already discussed it amongst themselves and they came to me with the net 1,500. And I know we're already doing a boot allowance every year. I think it's up to $300.
yeah. But is there a policy? Is there a policy? Dress policy?
Maybe. I'll have to look.
Yeah.
and I had a count,
I think it ought to be, I think we ought to have a policy, so maybe I can look at that.
Yeah.
We can roll it over.
Karen, I know you said the uniform company's contract ended in February. In my former life, most of those companies have, like, you gotta tell them 3 months before the end of the contract or you're automatically re-enrolled. So,
Yeah,
there's some fine print on them that, I fought tooth and nail with them.
We don't-
Pulling out of the uniform.
One-page contract.
Okay. Who is the company?
Syntax.
That's surprising. Because they're one of all the big ones are pretty hard to get out of.
It was all in place when we got here,
Yeah.
and this was just what Bob was able to find out.
Just, I don't want to get us ahead of the sideline because they're notorious for that, so.
Well, if you want to table it, we can kind of.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think I don't have a problem with it. I just want a little bit more control around it from Bob's standpoint, so. Yeah. Okay, anything else? No? Tom Milligan, you're up.
Thank you. I'm Tom Milligan, and I'm here with my hat on as the chair of the Historic District Commission. There are 7 people on our commission. We have 2 people reelected every 3 years. So we have 3-year term and they rotate. And then the 7th person is the person sitting to your left. We typically ask the members to either be elected or reappointed in May of each year. May of 25 slipped by us before we got that done. So I'm here tonight to ask you to reappoint members and alternates that we should have appointed back in May. Each one will be for a 3-year term, except for one, which will mean they'll expire in 28. So we'd asked to have John Dyer and William Van Zant be reappointed as members. And then we're asking to have Jerome Brightman and Chris Day be reappointed as alternates. And Brightman's term will expire in 28. Day is filling an unexpired term, and his term will expire in May of 27. I've talked to them, each one is agreeable to continue to serve. I'll have to say, they haven't worked very hard because we only had about a handful of meetings in the last year.
You gotta
So,
put Scott on a different committee.
yeah, and with Jack's help, we took care of the hardest problem we've had for a long time. So we're really in pretty good shape.
All right.
Maybe I can create your pile again. Let me see what I can do.
We work at it all the time.
I'll make a motion to approve the four. Hopefully,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Ms. Tenney spelled incorrectly.
Yes. I would like to introduce a candidate to be my deputy treasurer. He wants to do it, and I highly recommend him approve her. We need a deputy.
Yep,
Might be overkill, but I brought my resume.
excellent. I was gonna ask you, what tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been a public servant for about the last 40 years, started serving in upstate New York in the Unified Court System, moved down to the Sierra County Probation Department, moved to New Hampshire in 2006, became a TSA officer in Manchester until a year and a half ago when I got to Claremont Airport.
Where do you live?
Basic Glashua Road in the castle.
So Deb, does this mean that you're accepting the position?
I've already been sworn in, baby.
I was gonna ask.
I did that Saturday morning.
I didn't know if I had to be sworn in or not, but.
You got elected, so yes.
Yes, you gotta be sworn in before you can be sworn at.
What's the logistics on Carrie Ann? Because she ran forward one position, seat on the budget committee.
I believe that she will resign or decline the position and
I
then,
mean, I know it might be more exciting than what she's doing.
yeah.
He's not very good though.
Yeah, obviously she signed up for that before.
Yeah, no,
this,
I understand that.
You'll have to resign, decline the elected position and the budget committee will follow whatever procedures that are allowed by statute to replace her.
So we have questions for Pam? Deb has explained to you what you could be getting yourself into?
I tried to warn her.
All right.
And
This is Canaan, you know.
when was the last time we had a deputy treasurer? Just,
Last term.
we did?
Nobody ever saw her though.
Yeah.
I brought her in to introduce her and you guys approved her and
That was it.
that was it.
Is this gonna happen to you too, Ken? I don't know, have you been in the office yet?
Briefly, I know it's not very demanding.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I was second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I need more volunteers.
And so Deb, maybe the two of you can stop by Ann's office at some point, get sworn in.
Oh, you just get this one.
Yep.
No, approved, so you get this one.
Or I can do it if she's not around.
Yes. Yeah. Anne has a typed sheet that she had me sign.
Yep.
Mr. You're up.
I gotta find the MS. Sorry.
You did.
So, I have,
How's your first week been?
my first week has been very busy. I've been, as you
Less than a
know,
week, actually.
as you know, I've sent you kind of my activity list so far. I think we're up to 40 items. I have been meeting with most of the departments, and I haven't made the total rounds yet. Looking for items that perhaps have been left undone or have lapsed. And so I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing, no fires brewing and procedural or administrative things that are lacking. There is a bunch of them. We'll work on them. And Then we'll move towards picking up some of the bridge, roadway, water projects that I worked on 3 years ago, on which there's been some progress, but sometimes not enough.
Okay.
And we do have some fairly critical funding from the federal earmark from Gene Shaheen, which has been locked up in ways I haven't yet figured out. So we've not been able to access that $1.5 million. And the problem with that is it's getting
Close.
uncomfortably old to simply lapsing. And if that happens, then we're gonna have a bigger problem as to how we fund some of the bridge and water infrastructure projects that we've been working on for several years. So that's a high
So I
priority.
didn't think the bridge, that was all water money that was locked up, but it was, I thought the bridge money was.
Well, some of the transfer station bridge involves that
Oh,
water
okay,
line.
for the-
And I,
Force main.
yeah, and I'm also thinking that, at least based on my DES meeting yesterday,
Yeah.
Seems like,
Okay.
Not Friday yet.
that it may be advisable at some point to plan for a second pumping station at the transfer. You've got a fairly long run from this single pumping station out
And then
to the
elevate.
transfer, then 900 some odd feet up to the lagoons. But again, I've had 2 hours of meetings this week and last week to talk about the 1122 Route 4 issue of the gray water backup and the condition of the pumping station at Depot Road. In pure replacement costs, you're almost up to $500,000 and perhaps a 3 to 5 year timeline between design, review, approval, bidding, construction. If you can even find an engineering entity that has the bandwidth to take it on right now, because that's a huge problem in terms of market capacity for projects like this. So my fallback is making some acceptable emergency repairs that both potentially fix the problem and value 5, 6, 7 years.
I appreciate you bringing in DES and everybody else right away and.
Yeah, they're great to work with. I mean, they have laws to enforce. We will get a letter of deficiency in a number of areas because of the problems. But, we have a plan. The property.
Well, hiding it is not part of the plan now. So
With that,
hiding it is not part of the plan.
hiding is not part of the plan. Apparently, some of the elements of this problem are 11 years old. And,
We didn't know until a few months ago.
yeah, so I think it's probably time to fix them. So,
See. Go ahead. You had something?
Okay, well, so some of this money that's earmarked that you were talking about at first, can you explain that better? I mean, I feel like for years, we've been told like, have everything, and then the last meeting, we were kind of told maybe a deadline was missed. So what's actually going on, Jack?
well, I don't know all the answers to that at this
Okay.
point. But in 2022 to 2023, you successfully got an earmark of $1.5 million from Gene Shaheen.
Specifically for a water system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you've got a number of water lines and lead connections and galvanized pipe.
Is this,
Lead remediation.
Yeah, that have to be addressed over some period of time, and so this money was available. The difficulty is that for reasons that I haven't yet determined, you've been unable to access the account on grants.gov, which allows you to access the money and begin to do what you need to do in terms of spending it and accounting for it and actually receiving the cash. Why that's taken 3 years is not clear to me. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
But that needs to be resolved. We need to get access to it. And I mentioned that to the DES folks yesterday. And they said, well, why didn't you tell us you were having difficulty? And I said, I don't know that either. But so I'm going to try to focus on that very quickly because I know obviously we can't really afford to have that money go away.
Right.
And is that separate from the 780 for the lead service, or is that,
No, we seem to have that money secured adequately, and that's not at risk.
and we spent 550 of that though?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's,
so this is,
that could be true. Those details I'm not up to speed on yet.
that's what we were told in a couple of.
No, I'm sure that's probably true. I'm not doubting
Can, I mean,
that.
obviously, with less than 6 days under your belt, can we plan on the next meeting, starting with a hour free?
Yeah.
Non-public, just to
Sure,
sort of delve into these a little bit deeper.
sure.
Okay.
And as you'll see on the list that I've given you, of those items, I can obviously give
And
you,
yeah, I mean, you've given us a lot of information just in a week, so I appreciate that as well.
so we can drill down as needed as you go, if you want to do it individually or as a group, just to kind of update you,
Yeah.
whatever's fine. That's just a lot. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time with stuff that I'll be dealing with anyway. But
Yeah.
obviously, you can know whatever you want to know.
Thank you.
Other than that, I'm going to continue on doing what I'm doing. So I'll be giving you periodic updates.
So months just passed. 6 days.
It feels like it. But it's good. I mean, I still say, everybody so far is great to work with. They don't have all the answers. There are some problems. There are some issues. There are some things that didn't happen. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
Great. Welcome back. Under other business, I have a letter here from Lions Club Treasurer Tyler Paul, or Rob Schaefer, I'm sorry. It says, Phil Salvo brought to our attention that there's some old bleachers that are down by the transfer station. The Lions Club runs motocross races at Fish and Game, and this is our major fundraiser. We are requesting the town donate the bleachers to the club for use at our motocross events. Phil has briefly discussed this with Scott Johnson. Please call or text our track chairman, Tyler Paul, or myself if you have any questions. Do we have an idea where they came from, Scott?
Yes, they came from the racetrack. They were given to the town. Some of them went to the high school for the football field. And there are still some left up in back. They've been sitting there ever since. And they were wondering if they could get several sections that are left up there for the motocross track.
Are they all metal or are they wood?
Yes, they're aluminum.
Do we have any other schools besides the high school that have them before we?
There was also some that went over to the new Elliott Field.
Okay.
And at this point, I have not heard of any other requests or anything for use.
Didn't even know they were there.
I didn't realize there was still some left up there because I was under the understanding they all went to the football,
Mhm.
but they said no, they did not.
And I'm sorry, where would they end up?
They're in the deep part of the transfer station.
I know where they are now.
Oh.
Where
At
they-
the Fish and Game Club on Ballpark Road where they hold the motocross races.
That's where they'll end up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lions Club sponsors the motocross races. Fish and Game owns the property.
Did they approve having them brought in?
What's that?
Did Fish and Game approve it? You know,
I don't know. Actually, they're not.
if they own the,
I'm sure they have, because they meet.
yeah, well, I just wanted to make sure we, cross our eyes, dot our Ts and.
Have you actually laid eyes on them? I mean, I don't really have a problem with it.
I have not looked at them this spring. I will go look at them.
Yeah, take a picture.
Yeah, just have to know. I mean, it's something that one of the schools could use. I'd rather go that way. If they've already looked at them, then. I don't guess.
So the other thing I would probably draft up a little statement that they would sign that, that
Yeah.
says there as is, where is, but is about visibility or structural safety or anything like that. They take it on. They want to. That's what. Do we have a community? Don't we have a community field?
Williamsfield.
And was there work that was going to be done to improve that? Or
Yeah, it was done. The infield was redone by a volunteer, and I don't know if those are the same bleachers that are over there too, but
I'm not sure. I know there were some donated that are over there. I don't know if they came from that same route.
Yeah, so I think the most recent work that was done there was the infield was redone with all new dugout and put all new material there.
And then doing more work there this summer.
Are they? Do you know what they're doing?
I know the high school is also about to this spring host their first track meet ever, so I don't know what their plan is for that, but I do think we should at least check with Amanda, Isabel and see.
Another track.
Well, there's lots of other events.
You know, obviously, it's
Cross-country.
easier to reuse the bleachers if it's going for a town function.
Yes.
You don't give them away to something that's not a town function. You'd have to vote on it.
How many are over there, Scott?
I'm not sure. I'll look and look. I do know that at the time, Charlie Elliott had purchased them new to meet his insurance criteria, because the bleachers that were there at the racetrack, the originals were all wood. And his insurance company finally said there's too many splinters. No, so he bought new aluminum.
But the ones at the football field are really nice. I didn't realize that they were 20 years old. They've been hanging out at the dump.
You should go out back there. There's lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably stuff we can clear out.
Yes,
Scrap metal for.
yes, there is.
We talked about that. So, any other business? No? Great. Thanks everyone for coming. Appreciate it.
Are we going to non-public?
Oh, yeah. I need a motion to go to non-public.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.